Good morning and happy Christmas and New Year.
Merry New Year.
Merry New Year and Christmas. We had a beautiful Christmas filled with family and friends. It was quite delightful.
It was lovely.
Well, today I have to keep my sunglasses on because it's so bright, but today is 37 degrees Celsius. It is hot. And at this point, like at this kind of temperature, this dry, deathly heat, you can't do a lot. It's just not really safe to be doing a whole lot. It's just so hot. So we decided to get in the car and see if we could find ourselves a Coonara because we're about to tackle the fireplace area in the front room, which is so exciting. So in this video, we're hoping to rebuild the inside, like the inner layer of the brick of the old fireplace, and purchase and install our wood heater. So we decided to go with a wood heater. We were originally going to go a freestanding small Coonara, but we decided to go inbuilt because we just don't have the room to do a freestanding Coonara like around the Coonara. It's a very small front fireplace and the front room is also very small, so we don't want to overkill it with the fireplace. So yes, today we're going to buy it, and the reason we have to buy it today is that we can't really move forward at this point until we have the exact fireplace that we're going to get, because all the cabinetry and the fireplace surround that we want to cast, those measurements really are going to come off the requirements of the wood fire that we buy, essentially. And it's nice to go to an air-conditioned shop on such a hot day.
Yeah.
So come with us, let's see what we can find. Fingers crossed we can actually purchase one, because that'll be a huge win for us, and means we can start. I'm really excited. Okay, that was a successful trip. We have our Coonara, which is a brand of wood fire heaters, which we're really excited about. So Coonara is an Australian made brand of wood fire heaters that are kind of known for their quality heater, and so we could have gone for a cheaper option, but we wanted to get something that we knew would last and that would do a good job. So we've gone with the Compact Inbuilt, which is quite a small Coonara, but it will do the job for us. It will heat up the space beautifully. We have quite a small front lounge room, but hopefully the heat in winter can flow into the bedrooms and down the hall as well, and it will set a beautiful ambiance. That means we have the specs, which means we can get home and start planning and building the fireplace, the flue, but also the cabinetry. Hopefully the Coonara will be delivered on Friday, meaning we can start to install it. It's so exciting! So these are the plans that we had drawn to scale.
That's right. So we've built this on our PDF program and tried to design how this whole space is going to work.
Okay, so Brad and I have been doing some planning. A lot of planning goes into this project before we hit it, and this one in particular has to be planned out really specifically. So in here we have all of our clearances that we've been looking at and measuring. And here we have our plan of attack. So essentially what we want to do is map out where we want our fireplace or our wood heater to sit, and we've decided that we need to move our centre point because we want our middle bit to be bigger and our sides to be a little bit smaller as bookshelves. So you can see here, this is the centre point of where we need the wood heater to be, and this is where we need to shift everything over so that the sides are even. So we've talked a lot about what we're going to do, and our result, or our
Our solution?
Our solution is to delete this row of bricks here and move it across to the other side, shifting the wood heater slightly across, and that way we don't have to destroy the whole thing and rebuild it from scratch.
So as you can see, we've started to take some of the back bricks off. I've taken the inside skin of this left-hand wall off. So now I just need to rebuild it on the other side, and then we'll have our new centered and symmetrical opening to our new bookshelves with all the measurements and working out that we did yesterday. So a big cleanup effort. I need to sort of rebuild the subfloor in all the way through so that that's going to be ready to pour our concrete hearth, and then that'll form the base of the fireplace, and everything else I can bracket and frame to fit in our new Coonara. off that base level, and then we'll keep going up with the bricks up and around over the sides and around the back, and that'll sort of form that full structure. And then the flue can go up and all the way through, and we can start to do the framing and things like that, but this is step one of many steps.
That is clean as a whistle.
It's one clean whistle.
Just a stack to go.
Okay, so all of the bricking is now complete, which you can kind of see pretty clearly actually, where all the new mortar is versus where all the old mortar is. So all of this is now built up to our preferred height for our stone surround that we're going to try and do ourselves, and everything else is set up nice and centered to the room, which is really great. So it's a nice solid base to work with. And now I'm working on the subfloor extension. So we're essentially just doing an infill of the floor all the way through. So I'm actually bolting it to those lower bricks, and then we're going to sit the flooring on top of that. And that's going to provide the support for our hearth that we're going to set up and be pouring in the next few days, which is really, really awesome. And also, as you can see, our nice new Coonara, we're going to be able to sit that in place and then set up all of our cabinetry, because that's going to govern where all of our finished surfaces are going to go from. So we're making our way through it now, which is awesome. Now we've finished our subfloor framing, which is awesome. A little bit of chipboard down here, which has infilled that area nicely. Only a couple of little adjustments needed on that, but otherwise it went down without a problem, which was great. And now we're ready to set up our slab. So our particular fireplace needs a non-combustible hearth, which means it's either cement shed or concrete or brick. Some old brick fireplaces have already got that brick base for them, but obviously this one didn't. So we're going to be pouring a minimum required or just above concrete slab for our fireplace to sit on top of. That means that it's approximately 65mm, which I didn't want to do in our finished concrete because we're going to be playing around with some colours and some different materials there. So instead of just doing the full thickness, what I'm going to do is pour an internal slab inside of it. So it's going to be a bit shorter on all sides and a little bit less thick as well, so that I can just put my topping slab over the top to make it look nice, because it's a bit more expensive of a product. It's going to be harder to use, so I want to try and do as least as possible. So at the moment I'm going to box up the edges, and then we're going to get pouring this first slab of concrete so that we can get ready for our next mix. So I've set up all my form work for our slab, the first one that we need to pour, not the second one, because we want to make the second one a little bit bigger so it completely wraps up this one. So I've just used some melamine, and I'm going to pin these down. I've got them all leveled up so they're sitting nice and flat because we want this to be perfectly level.
And then I'm going to use some bondcrete just to help the concrete bond to the timber a little bit better. If you're pouring against a non-porous sort of substrate or material such as chipboard, it does have this wax coating on it, so it's not going to really want to bond properly. So I've got a tub of bondcrete over here next to me. I'm just going to paint this area. It'll dry pretty quickly, and then I'll have all this edges sealed up, and then we get ready to pour the concrete. That's it. We have managed a few more bags more than what we thought, but we've managed to pour the whole fireplace. It is a bit wet, but that's what happens when you have rubbish machines.
One day we will buy a better concrete.
A concrete mixer is just rubbish. Anyway.
But we got there in the end. A little bit wet, but it's not our finished product, so it's okay.
Exactly right. So it forms the base for our next section, so that's the most important part.
So thanks for joining us. We've got these fireplace bricks, cemented, and we're ready for the next part, which is really exciting.
Stay tuned.
Press subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good.
Bye!